Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. I begin in the name of Allah, the most merciful, the very merciful. As someone who spends a lot of time on social media, one thing that I realize is that there is a tendency for us to feel a little bit jealous of the other people that we see. And I just wanted to talk about a few things that we should keep in mind. The first thing that we should keep in mind is that the thing that we feel jealous regarding, is it something that is positive? For example, in the Quran, we get the example of a rich person by the name of Qarun. Qarun was a very rich man. And when he was going out with his big, followers and the pomp and everything, the Quran says, فَخَرَجَ عَلَىٰ قَوْمِهِ فِي زِينَتِهِ. He went out into the people with all of his pomp and beauty and decoration and following. قَالَ الَّذِينَ يُرِيدُونَ الْحَيَاةَ الدُّنْيَا. The people who wanted the dunya, they looked at him the same way that we look at a Lamborghini when it passes. يَا لَيْتَ لَنَا مِثْلَ مَا أُوتِيَ قَارُونَ. We wish we had what Qarun has. But in reality, no one should wish what they had, what Qarun had, because that led him into wrong, that led him into greed and sin, and led him into the fire. So the first thing is, we need to ask ourselves, the person that we are being envious of, are they really worth envying? The second thing is the nature of our jealousy. When we look at the person, is it that we want the person to lose what they have, which is known as hasad, and that's very dangerous? Or is it that we simply want the same thing for ourselves? And if that's the case, that's not too bad. But in practicality, we should only do that in terms of deen. Regarding the dunya, we should try to look at people who have less than what we have, so we can be grateful. The third thing is this trick. So my teacher, Sheikh Suleiman Mullah, he told us that when you look at someone and you feel jealous of them, like myself, I'll be honest with you, I feel jealous of a lot of people. I feel jealous of people like Mufti Muhammad Bholat. I don't know if he wants me using his name online, but I do, with the amount of work that he does, and he's able to balance so much work. I feel jealous of people who have time to read. I feel jealous of people who have a lot of grasp in the field of Aqidah. So when you're being jealous of that person, my teacher Sheikh Suleiman Mullah, what he said is that you should pray for them, that may Allah give them more, and may Allah give it to you as well. And the last thing is this point that I read in the book by Jordan Peterson, that everyone has a very unique combination of factors in their life. You might be bad at one thing, but Allah has probably given you other things in which you're doing pretty good. Most of us who have access to the internet and who have access to knowledge and have access to Islam, have access to people of knowledge, and have access to food and shelter, we should be very, very grateful. So someone might have something, but they might be lacking in other things. And Allah might have given us other things to make up for what we lack in. So the only one, because comparison can only be done when the two things are exactly the same. There is no one in the world who is exactly like you. The only thing that we need to compare ourselves to is how we were yesterday. And if we are improving, we should be happy. If we are not improving, we should ask Allah to give us the strength and make us better. And the last thing I'm going to say is that remember that social media doesn't have all the failures that the person has. I know myself, my social media, especially like in 2018, there were a lot of great things that I feel were put on there. But I can think of at least two big incidences of big failure that happened this year. So when we look at social media especially, it's very, very tricky. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the power to act upon whatever has been said. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen.